Good morning.
Yeah, I haven't talked to you all year.
That's good.
Yeah,
You are correct, sir.
how's it been going? What's the new year been doing for you so far?
It's been going pretty well. I can't complain. I've only had two early morning conversations with our transportation director, trying to figure out weather related situations, and actually, it was only one with him and one with the Hayward superintendent. So that's a kind of a standard part of my winter.
Yeah,
Is wake up at 5 and check the temperature, check the weather conditions, see if it's going to be safe to go to school. And luckily, as everybody knows, we haven't had to worry about that a whole lot. So I'm doing great. I
yeah.
love it. It's
In
fine
fact,
with me. I know
yeah,
it's not wonderful for a lot of people that we don't have a lot of snow, but I will not be the one to complain.
yeah. I'm in the same boat with you. This is just about enough snow that I can handle. It's not too much that it's going to be difficult to shovel, and it still covers the ground and makes it look like winter.
Yeah, just even the amount of money that we've been able to save just with not
Yeah.
salting all the time and not plowing all the time. And uh, we did have a facilities issue with a frozen pipe over the weekend, which
Oh
luckily
dear.
will be replaced next summer as part of our HVAC. Just another reminder of why we need that overhaul. It
Yeah.
was old equipment, not new equipment, so
So
that
they
will be.
just wrap some duct tape around it and it'll hold it till the spring.
Not. I think it was a pipe on a heater in the bathroom that had already been replaced a couple years ago that froze. So they have to
Oh
replace it
dear.
again. But it will all be a completely new setup
Yeah.
next winter. So I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah.
Yes.
So this week is Treaty Week. What's
Yeah.
happening at the school in recognition and celebration of that?
Yeah. Big week. So Treaty Week is something that we have been intentionally doing, I would say, probably for the last 8 or 9 years. It's on our school calendar, and we prior to Treaty Week, we tried to provide all of our teachers with resources and curriculum ideas to try and integrate an understanding, first of all, on a professional level. For them, the importance of the not just what a treaty is at the
Sure.
basic level, but how it relates to the Ojibwe people and specifically Lakudere, and kind of what that entails. So it's really important for our teachers to have an understanding of not just who they're teaching, but where they're teaching, and that understanding of our location geographically, what it means. I geek out this week because I used to be a social studies teacher and a tribal history teacher, so I love this week talking about geography and all of the things related to northern Wisconsin and pine and timber and
Right.
anyway. So we first of all try to sorry, my phone's ringing. We first of all try to educate our teachers just so they have an understanding, if they don't already, of what the importance of Treaty Week is to the people of Lakudere. And then we try to make it just as visible and part of the week as we can. So, in addition to those teachers using those curriculum materials in classrooms, for example, our high school tribal history students are working on writing either essays or actually, I think it's either a poem or a song related to treaty rights and tribal sovereignty, and they get extra credit if they recite it. But we also have like guest speakers coming in. There's some visitors from Glyphwick that are going to be here this week in our elementary,
Ah, okay.
in our high school outdoor skills class, and then I believe in one of our other high school classes. We have a powwow at the end of the week, our Treaty Week powwow. That's open to families and parents to be able to come on campus for that. So it's really just trying to have that specific date and time where that's kind of the focus, the underpinning of our curriculum, and it's obviously chosen intentionally because of January 25th is the anniversary of the Voight
Hmm.
decision. So that's why it's always during that third week of January. Luckily, we don't have to worry about school closures this week because it's like frigidly cold. our outdoor skills class is going to go ice fishing, I think Wednesday. Practice some of those treaty rights, and a lot of times when we schedule this, it's like 30 degrees below zero with the
Right.
wind chill, and we aren't able to go. But this week is going to be a good week to do it. A great
Yep.
trip. So yeah, that's what we've got going on this week, and it's also fun because it's the first week of the new semester, of the second semester. So like the stress level for, I think for sure for staff, trying to get everything in before the semester is lower, but for students, it's like the start of a new quarter and the start of a new semester. So it's kind of an exciting, fun way to start
Yeah.
the second semester.
Yeah, they're all fresh back from
Yeah.
a break for the holidays, and then they can get back into focusing on classes and what's happening there. So, what's particularly stands out for you this semester in your plans and what you have going on?
We have tried to build a really consistent, I guess, routine over the years, so things are predictable not just for our students and staff,
Right.
but for families. So, in a sense, we try to keep doing things as normally as possible. The springtime, usually in February, beginning of March, we start our annual needs assessment process, where we will be kind of looking at our programming for the year, our progress since the last year, what's working, what's not, are there things we need to change, are there things we need to get rid of, are there new things that we need to bring in. So that's something that we'll be doing in the next couple months. That involves like surveying parents and students and staff to get feedback. So that's something that's coming in the springtime. We did just make a change to our master schedule for our middle school and high school students, and it's kind of a long story as to why that took place. I mentioned the HVAC project that we have coming up this summer. It is a massive undertaking, and we really have a short window to be able to get it done. So what we have tried to do with our middle school and high school students is to incrementally lengthen the day for middle school and high school students. We've added 1 minute per class period, which ends up to be an extra 8 minutes of instructional time. The day that students are here isn't any longer.
Right.
The time that they're in class is very, very small increment, larger. And we've done that to try and add some minutes onto our instructional calendar, hopefully with the goal of being able to be done with school a couple days earlier than we had planned. And the purpose of that is really to allow that HVAC project to get underway sooner, because there's going to be so much time needed, and what we really want to avoid a late start to the school year this fall. So, we've had the benefit of no snow days yet this school year.
Yeah.
So we're doing well with instructional minutes in that time. And the reason why it's just the middle school and the high school is that the BIE requires more instructional minutes for middle school and high school students than elementary students. So elementary kids are unaffected by this. Middle school and high school kids are just marginally affected. The other change that we made for the second semester that we started yesterday was we have moved our middle school lunch period back about 45 minutes. Intentionally, prior to that, our middle school and high school had about a 20-minute overlap in their lunch times, in their gym times, in their recess times, which, I've been here for a couple decades now. 20 years ago really wasn't a massive issue because, we had about 110 kids between
Right.
all of those grades, and now we're over 200. So supervision gets to be tougher. We made that change to make sure that we can maintain the integrity of our middle school kids with the middle school and the high school kids with the high school, and they're not, commingling in bathrooms or any place that they may make less than good choices. So that
Sure.
yesterday was the first day that we did that, and I think it went really well. It was really nice to be able to have the middle school have their own time. They are a little bit more relaxed when the big kids aren't around. So
Sure.
giving them their own gym time and their own cafeteria time, I think hopefully we'll get more kids to eat lunch. That's the other hope that we have. But it'll help with that supervision and provide a little bit stronger measure of safety too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there any changes to how the school buildings will be operating this summer with the construction? Are you going to have areas closed off and maybe activities rescheduled for different buildings?
That is a fantastic question. So we're still working on what that's going to look like, but we do know that the entire high school building, so the administrative office where I'm at, and then all of our high school areas, the gym, weight room, that middle kind of space, and then our entire elementary wing will need to be completely cleaned out. So anything that is not nailed to the wall will need to be
Really?
put in storage. The reason for that is that all of the ceilings are going to be removed, all the lighting, all the ductwork, all of the electrical is all going to be worked on, so everything's got to go. That's the other reason why we're trying to end school a couple days early, just so we can have time to move and to pack.
A lot of furniture, yes.
A lot of furniture, yeah. So that involves storage and we'll utilize the gym as much as we can, but probably storage containers and all of those things. It also means that we will not be having summer school this summer. We will probably have credit recovery for our high school students, and that will probably be it in terms of summer school. The summer staff, myself, and the rest of the staff that are here for the summertime will need to probably relocate to the middle school. There will be some work done out there, but it's not going to be as massive as the rest of the building. So we won't be in this part of the building during the summertime. We'll be in the middle school.
Yeah.
It also means likely that what is available for Honor the Earth is limited. I think that we are still going to be able to use showers that were used last year in our VOTEC building. I believe the kitchen is still going to be available, though our freezers and our refrigerators are our cooler and our freezer are getting replaced, so food storage will be an issue. We're working with the Boys and Girls Club because they use our cafeteria, obviously, for their summer meal program, which I believe is still going to be able to happen. But yeah, it's definitely going to be a heavy-duty construction zone here this summer, so making plans for that is one of the many things that we've been working on.
Yeah. Oh, that sounds like a big planning event. My goodness.
It is. It's going to be huge, but once it's done, the headaches, the day-to-day headaches will be much better, I'm hoping.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, it's basketball season. How are the kids doing that are in basketball?
There was a girls' game last night. They played at home against Drummond, and I had the chance to come to it. Didn't get the W, but I was super impressed with the ladies. They were getting beat up pretty good, but they had just amazing attitudes. You could tell they were having fun. They weren't quitting on each other. They were still working together. They weren't getting frustrated. I've been a coach before, so I've been in that position where, it just feels like it's an uphill battle, but, the attitude of your players is really what makes it worth it and what keeps you going, and they just did a phenomenal job of sticking with it. And I think, the same for the boys. They have low numbers this year. They started with a bunch of kids, and kind of a few, have stepped away, so they're kind of struggling with numbers. We started with the JV at the beginning of the year, but made a decision to dial that back just to, for the sake of the kids and their health. There was some, they were being asked a lot of those some of those younger kids to play a couple games a night, and that was just getting to be too much. So we also had our middle school girls volleyball season start recently. I think they got a win last night. So that's the middle school 6th, 7th, and 8th grade volleyball, and they travel to local schools, and they'll have some home games coming up. So lots of action happening here.
Wow, very cool.
Yeah.
Well, does that round out your second semester plans? And
it does. The other thing that's worth talking about that nobody ever gets really excited about is testing.
yeah,
That's what another thing.
teachers and students together,
Yeah,
they don't
right.
like testing.
And yeah. So some of it we have some control over. Some of it we don't. Right before our winter break, we have a winter break. It's the Berkey break in February. We will have the National Association of Educational Progress test, which only happens every 4 years, and we participate in it as part of the Indian Education Study. So our fourth graders and our eighth graders will have a reading and math assessment during that time. That is not something that we personally administer. The NAEP comes here and they administer the test.
Sure.
So that'll take place before winter break, and that's just fourth graders and eighth graders. The ACT test, all of our juniors take the ACT test. We are lucky enough to be able to administer that here, so students don't have to worry about, when I was in high school, I had to get up on a Saturday morning and drive because the testing site wasn't in my town. So that's not the case anymore. Our juniors are all on site. They take the test. It's pretty seamless. That happens in March. And then another assessment before our spring break is the BIE standardized assessment, which is a requirement of the BIE. It's what they have switched to. We do not administer the forward exam that public schools do. Lots of parents would probably be interested or familiar with that test. We do not have to administer that test, but we do have to administer the BIE standardized assessment, which is pretty similar. It's grades through 8th grade and 11th grade. There's a battery of tests. It's going to take probably the bulk of a week to get through it. But we're trying to prepare as much as possible and communicate with parents and kids and get some pre-tests done so they feel confident in what the format is going to be. And then we'll have one more round of assessments in May, our NWEA MAPS tests, and that's just reading and math, and that's grades 2 through 11, I believe, and that's pretty quick. That's a quick one.
Sure.
All the fun stuff.
Oh, get that out of the way fast.
We try to stagger it so it's not all at once.
All at once, right? Yeah.
Which is just a killer, and we really do try to build in some fun things, in incentives for kids that are all here. We most of the time, for a couple of these tests, we see the results a year later, which really doesn't do us a whole lot of good. So for us, it's really just a matter of trying to support kids and doing their best. Not getting stressed out about it, being here so they can take the test, and it's one of those things. I'm sure in your job, it's not a highlight of your day, but it's something you got to do. So we try to make it as minimally stressful and arduous as possible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, very cool. Thank you, Jessica, for visiting with us. We appreciate the updates, and we'll check back in with you at the end of February.
Sounds good. I'll be here.
All right. Take care.
All right. See you, Mark.